I got a lot of cool stuff to kind of share with you, like we do every single month. And so I'm very hopeful that you like the information from today, because there's a lot of stuff going on in our industry. There's and it depends on how you look at it. Is it a challenge or is it an opportunity right now? And I am a challenge kind of guy. So that's how I'm always going to kind of start off. So like my big goal with all of our sales meetings is I want to equip you so that you have the ability to answer this question. This is the one that you get hit by your clients all the time, right? Whenever somebody talks to us, it's always, how's the market? How's the market? What's going on? How's the market? And so that's my big goal in our sales meeting, is to make sure that you are well equipped on there. So I kind of want to jump into kind of like what's going on with mortgage rates. Are mortgage rates our friend right now? No, mortgage rates are not our friend. That's for sure. So we got a lot of global tensions going on. We have stagnant job growth happening right now. We have a lot of mixed economic signals going on. We did see where mortgage rates had been going up for 5 weeks, and then this past week they started to drop back off. We are going to see a lot of volatility going on, and hopefully, as things in the Middle East, and I'm not trying to be political about anything, pro, con, whatever the feelings are. We know that it causes a lot of turmoil in the markets, and markets don't like that, and we're feeling some of that for sure right now in what we're seeing in the mortgage rates. Two areas though that I think are being overlooked. One is that right now we have a lot of debt still piling up. So credit card debt is going up. We've seen credit card debt. I know this sounds weird, but ever since 2020, during 2020, there was a lot of COVID money moving around. And then the COVID money stopped. But guess what we didn't stop doing? Spending. Yeah, spending. And so it looks like if you watch the numbers, it kind of has been supplemented with credit card spending. So that spending never really tapered off, and that's causing some angst for our clients. So helping them realize that this kind of stuff really does impact them, because your credit score is going to impact your ability, not just your ability, but also how much credit you can get. Like on a lot of your mortgages, if you want to be able to get down payment, I mean, like a DPA plus closing costs plus this, using this program, you have to have the higher credit. The folks who are just skating by sometimes can get one, sometimes can't get any additional program. So it's a really, really big deal. Now, the other thing that we're seeing impact a lot of credit scores right now is the buy now, pay later folks. Has anybody had a client go through that's the buy now, pay later people that use a lot of those? The lenders are requiring every single one of those is showing up on their credit report. And we have some folks that are doing 10, 20 of these. And so they have to go in and explain every single one of these on their credit report, what's really going on. And so we're having to provide documentation, a lot of stuff like that. So I know that there are some folks who need to do that at certain times, but what we're seeing, there's an entire generation right now that's doing it for like everyday purchases and those kind of things. So, and I'm not a big fan of that, just because I feel it's on the verge of being predatory in my own personal opinion. So I'm just trying to be straight up about that. Now, anytime that there is a lot of volatility, though, they called you after they called me. But anytime there's a lot of volatility, there's also a lot of opportunity right now. We're seeing a lot of short-term rate movement that's kind of bouncing around all over the place. We're seeing gas prices move back and forth. A lot of things kind of jumping at the moment. Now, we are in a very unique place in where we sit, especially in the mortgage rates and how that's really impacting our things. Right now, are the rates still relatively high compared to where they were and where they are heading? They're higher. Now, it's still better than it was, and I'm thankful that they're going on there. But that also helps to keep competition down a little bit, and we're seeing a slight improvement in inventory. But when the rates come back down, what's going to happen?
Inventory competition goes.
Well, I mean, like the buyers are coming back, and then y'all remember in like summer of 21, what happened in summer of 21 when all the buyers hit the market, right? Now we lose on negotiation process, prices go up, all these kind of things kick off. Now, right now, everyone's a little bit down about whether it's the economy, things happening in the Middle East, that kind of stuff. What happens when we don't feel so negative as Americans? It's going to change, right? And so if we see gas prices come back down, we see interest rates move, we see inflation steadying, and there's every reason that we should, right? I mean, like right now, a lot of it's being fueled by, like I said, gas and that kind of stuff. We should be looking at a much more positive session as the year goes on. I am expecting us to see a lot more activity coming out. And I don't want us to miss on that, because just as overall consumers are a little bit down, well, guess what we are too? We're consumers, right? Like we feel that same kind of angst, push, pull, those kind of things. We all have our own personal feelings about everything going on and how that applies and what really happens. But don't miss out on the fact that we still are selling 11,000 houses every day. Right? There's still a lot of activity going on. I don't want to miss on that. But let's look at what's really happening here in our markets. So right now, new listings. So new listings are up in Georgia MLS by 2%. They're down in the top is FML. I mean, it's Georgia MLS. The bottom is FMLS. But new listings are down in FMLS, and this is a really bad thing. And what I mean by that is, yes, we are seeing a slight uptick in new listings, but new listings drive our market. They drive our market every year. Now, what time of the year would you expect the most new listings starting to come on the market?
Spring, summer.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, we may be up a little bit, but we should be up a lot more. So we definitely do need more listings as far as that's going right now. Overall, total active listings. What we're seeing is we have a lot more older inventory on the market, because we have 7% more listings this year than last year in Georgia MLS, and almost 10% more listings this year than last year in FMLS. So total inventory is up. But do you think those are new listings, or do you think those are listings that have been sitting on the market for a little bit? Right, yeah, it's the market, it's the listings that are sitting out there, and so that's an interesting dynamic. Now, for our friends in middle Georgia up here, kind of stuff, your new listings are down huge. In the Macon, Warner Robins area, they're down 21% on new listings, and their total active listings this year, they are flat with last year, so they have no new inventory. So you guys need to make sure that we are getting some listings in middle Georgia too, because the inventory is really, really tight for what we see. Now, what does that mean? Kind of like where we were now versus, so like if you look at us compared to a year ago, overall total inventory, like March this past year to March this year versus last year, we ended up about 13% total for the month. However, we are still down 4% from where we were pre-COVID. That means we have less listings on hand than we had 6 years ago. And do you think anything's happened in 6 years? Like people making babies, population growth. I mean, like there's still a lot of things going on. And so we have less listings than we had when COVID hit right now. And so there is a need for inventory for sure, in part because of where we're sitting in the market, but also this time of year. Like right now is the time to be talking to folks about inventory, about listing their home. By the way, when's the best time of year to list?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. She's not wrong. So I've got a slide to share with you on that. Now, overall, our days on market are over 70 days, y'all. 70. So we're talking about almost 2.5 months.
Oh my God.
That's our normal marketing time. Who do we need to make sure knows this?
Sellers.
Yep.
Well, everybody. I mean, when you look at the way our inventory is sitting right now, this is something that, yes, the sellers, we need to be really clear. Because as soon as you list a home, the first week out, they're like, when are the offers coming in? You know, how many offers am I going to get this week? Well, I mean, and I get it for years. I mean, for a lot of us, if you haven't been in the business since 2012, you've not seen a balanced market. You've not seen a buyer's market. You've only seen a seller's market. That's all we've had for the last 12, 13 years. And so now all of a sudden we have this market, and we're going 75 days on market, and people are like, oh my gosh, what's going on, right? And is it like we're moving in? This is the kind of, you know, like I've seen it a lot higher than this. So we're not in a bad place here, but we need to make sure that we are communicating this to our clients. On one hand, for sure, the sellers, because we want to be able to set clear expectations that the normal marketing time is 2.5 months almost, right? Mm-hmm. But for buyers, our buyers are always looking at new inventory.
No, they'd be looking at days on market so they can do a low.
Well, but that's what. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that we have to lowball everything, but what I'm saying is that a lot of buyers are looking at new inventories. They're not looking at the stuff that maybe is set there for 75 days. Yeah. So there's opportunities here on both sides, but either way, it comes down to us communicating that. Currently, we're sitting on about 4.5 months of standing inventory. We were looking at all through last year, inventory increasing throughout the whole year as it went along. Mm-hmm. And then fall hit, and everyone took their houses off the market. And we're just not seeing the inventory coming back the way that we need to. So that's kind of an update about where we're kind of sitting on right there. Now, closed sales, we're up in Georgia MLS, down in FMLS. So fairly flat overall on just number of sales this year versus last year. Pending sales are not looking great though. Well, but that was very unique.
I'm trying not to be distracted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good job.
All right.
Great job.
No, but the pending sales, we understand why we're here right now, right? Mm-hmm. We understand what's going on with that. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that is a very good sign. Now, overall, what do you guys see happening with pricing? Nothing. Okay, it's flat. All right, even though we are seeing where prices aren't necessarily going up, they aren't necessarily going down. They're just sitting really, really stagnant. Very, very like, is that good or bad?
Not good.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a buyer,
it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want us having double-digit price growth, but I also like having much more moderate. Right now, one of the biggest concerns we've had for the last several years has been affordability, and so now we have rising wages. We have prices that are stabilizing. Both of these are really good for affordability. We still, even with everything going on, if you've owned a home for the last 6 years, you've had 60% appreciation over the last 6 years. So we've had great appreciation. It's just that for our sellers, should our sellers expect 10% appreciation every year?
No.
Is that realistic?
No.
No. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing the results of that. But I'm also glad that we're not seeing decent depreciation, right? We're not seeing where homes are worth less now than they were last month, kind of thing. So we're seeing it just overall really, really flat as far as that goes. Now, for my middle Georgia folks, so we see that closed sales is up almost 20% in Macon and Warner Robins, and their average and pricing was up by 10%. So middle Georgia saw their prices move up pretty significantly on it.
So once again, it goes down to affordability. Some of your clients are able to, they're okay driving a little bit to get affordable housing. And what I thought was interesting earlier when you point out was on the price reduction, where FMLS is not doing a whole lot and Georgia MLS is. I can tell you, I was looking at properties probably about 6 months ago in Northside, and that's where predominantly FMLS is located. What I know is that the seller up in Northside were very aggressive in reducing their price. So when they put on the market, they have absolutely nothing. Went 2 weeks, I saw a couple of those drop at 10,000. I mean, immediately. So, you know, it is where a seller knows that they're listed too high, but they want to test the market. Whereas Georgia MLS down here, we still have seller thinking, hey, we're still affordable, and therefore we're not going to move the price.
But every seller's different, right? I mean, it depends on what their situation
is. And I just thought that was
kind
of interesting that the FMLS did not take as hard a hit as Georgia MLS. So Southside, just kind of educate your client and let them know that that you know the market is not moving with those needles right now.
The
Okay.
prices are lower on the south side too, starting off with.
Well, but if you remember in
But it's all
during
relative.
pandemic.
It's all relative,
I mean,
right?
It's relative because it sounds like you look at it, I see a huge increase in the average sale price and sale
Yeah.
price in Southside.
Percentage wise, we've seen a
Yeah.
lot, really good, stronger growth in
Yeah.
a lot of times.
And this is why Macon is moving up a little bit, because it's still in the middle 200s. That's affordable.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like.
Yeah.
From
It used to be a hundred.
Donna this way.
Yeah. All right, now let's look at some areas that are looking kind of good news for us.
All right,
So-
elected this.
So this is what's going on with what's happening with wealth migration. Where's money moving from and moving to? Guess how Georgia ranks? Oh, I'm moving.
We're in positive, we're in the green.
There's been, I mean, $746 million has moved to Georgia from other states. So
Like that.
this is still a really good place to be, right?
California's
Also,
leading.
You may love Zillow or hate Zillow, but it ranks us as one of the top 10 markets for this year. Now, I know when you're in the market, you don't feel like you're a top 10 market, but when you compare us to the rest of the United States, our affordability is really, really strong. We have a lot of really great things kind of going on in there. So when you look at the 10 best states for housing affordability, guess where we're also in top 10 there. So these are all really good signs for us here for what's going on in our local markets and all that. And then when you put all that together, what is the best week of the year to sell a house?
Spring break.
Now,
Oh.
okay?
Just wait.
I've been telling
Sort of right in
Look.
there, you know?
You're right.
I've been telling you, it's a business time.
NAR went out and they put together and said, when's the, what time of the year has the best, well, are you gonna get the highest price, sale price versus list price, shortest amount of days on market, the whole 9 yards, and the greatest amount of activity? And guess what that is?
Next week.
Next week. So when I say we need listings, like if you list a home right now, do you have a chance to be the hero? Right? Like this is the best time of the year right now to list a house. And now through the summer, it's really a strong thing. And so now's the time when we need to be calling out to our databases, reaching out to our friends, talking about what's going on. If they decided, look, like we saw a lot of people delist in the fall last year, even in the winter. Now's the time to jump back into the market. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to change gears a little bit, and we're going to have to go into story time a little. And who knows or who's familiar with what's going on in the private listings and coming soon listings and everything going on in the industry? Because not a lot of us do. And so I'm going to take you through a little story time. And I want to kind of explain kind of what's been going on and what the evolution of it is. And then how can we capitalize on it? Y'all want to walk along with me here? So first thing is
Does that have a
that,
choice?
no, they really are. I'm trying to be polite. All right, so let's talk about, it's all about inventory, right? And so he who controls the inventory rules the world is really what we're seeing. And so the industry over the last year or two there's been this huge battle, I mean, on national levels with big companies, right? And we have a lot of big companies that are trying to sell and promote different things that, sellers want privacy. Sellers want to be able to decide where their listings or should be listed. Sellers shouldn't be forced to list their property on the MLS. So we have all that going on, and then agents want to be flexible. And do I agree with that somewhat? Maybe a little bit. But what we're really seeing is that we're seeing where a lot of brokerages are weaponizing inventory. Okay. And we're seeing where the portals, the realtors, the Zillow.coms, the homes.com, right? They are fighting right now because what do they want to do with that inventory? They want to make money off it. So they want to monetize that inventory. So you got really big brokerages hustling. You've got the portals that are fighting over it, all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, we have the MLSs and our local listing services. They just want to stay relevant. They want to be and honestly, our MLS is an amazing thing. Like if you try and list and look at houses around the world, system here is so nice. A lot of countries don't even have buyer agency. You know, a lot of times you have to, like, my mom lives in Australia. We go over there, and so I got when you go there, I mean today you go and you stop by an agent listing a house. Guess what other houses they can show you?
No.
The ones that they have listed. That's it.
So you
They can't
have,
take me anywhere else,
you have the inventory, the kings and queens.
right? And so we're seeing where a lot of these companies and people and stuff like that are there's a big shift. So all this really kind of came to a head a little over a year ago. And so Compass kind of began this whole process by rolling out this thing called private listing networks, right? And when they did that, they said, we have a 3-phase marketing strategy. And I'm not trying to promote Compass, I just want you to understand. First thing is where all their listings are pocket listings.
First.
Because then one of their agents gets to bring only the buyers for them.
See, to me, that's where the NAR got in trouble with the lawsuit.
Well, and then phase 2 was when they'd be doing coming soon. And then if that doesn't work, they go on the MLS. And unfortunately, the data shows that it's not a fair, balanced marketplace. All the buyers don't see the properties. And we saw, and there's several studies. Every study except for the one Compass did shows that sellers sell for less money in more time. Now, the Compass's study shows something totally different,
Of course.
which is, I'm sure, coincidental. So they started the ball rolling, and it started this big battle between them. Zillow really got into it. Zillow wasn't going to do this, and this whole thing really started going around. And Compass really tried to take the high road and be like, this is about consumer choice.
No.
I don't believe so, because like when you look at the post from the president of their company, all he talks about is how much business they get from internally from doing this on their own. That doesn't sound like it's consumer focused. I don't like things that don't put the consumer first. So then Compass doubled down. So Compass doubled down about a month or two ago, kind of stuff, and they said, you know what, we're going to partner with Rocket. Now Rocket now owns Redfin, so they're Compass in partner with Redfin, and they're going to list their coming soon. Because who can like the way it is right now? Who can see coming soon?
Agents
Oh,
only.
agents.
Agents can see coming soon. Now they said, you know what? We're going to share coming soons to the public. Now, when they did that, some things happened. Lawsuits between them and Zillow stopped because they were trying to get it out there. So they started saying, okay, we're going to start marketing coming soon. So after they did that, EXP said, well, if you're going to list coming soons with Redfin, we're going to list coming soons with homes.com, realtor.com, and Core Home, which is Google. So now so EXP said, well, we're going to start listing coming soons here. Now, all these coming soons, who gets to see these now? Consumers. See, in the past, coming soon was a very different animal. In the past, coming soon was like, I never saw coming soon being super useful, because can you open the door for someone to see a coming soon?
No.
No.
Especially have an out-of-town buyer that's here for the weekend, they want to see it, and you're basically doing disservice to yourself and them, because they're getting mad at you, saying, what can you open the door?
Well, but now we're seeing where coming soon is making a shift. Coming soon started making a very, very big shift, because what we're seeing now is, what you can do now is you can list your property coming soon and set up appointments for when you go live.
So if you go live this Friday,
that's the new game. So now we've got Compass, we've got EXP, and not to be left out, we have the other big boys
Zillow.
jumped in bed with Zillow and said, hey, can we share our listings on Zillow? So we had 4 big companies that jumped in with Zillow. So now we have all these companies going with Zillow, all these other companies going with Realtor.com, other ones over here. Everyone's sharing their coming soons everywhere. Well, then all the little guys said, what about me? Right? So all the little guys started adding in. So now there's about 50 different brokerages that can now list coming soons ahead of time. We are one, if you want to. Now, I only signed up because I don't want you to be left out, and I don't want you not to be able to compete. Now, we are seeing a lot of shifting going on in here. If you don't want to list the property coming soon, don't list the property coming soon. But if you wanted to have that ability, I wanted to make sure that you were not in a position where you could not list coming soon. Does that make sense? All right. So Zillow launched their Zillow Preview, which is coming soon. So Zillow just calls it Preview. And there's a bunch of companies that can now share coming soon. But all these are outside of the MLS, right? And so all Zillow Preview is the same as it's just sharing coming soon direct to consumers. And like I said, nobody wants to be left out, so everybody else jumped in bed there with them too. So NAR came out and said, look, we believe that the MLS is the most powerful thing that's really helped establish and build our business. So they came through and they were very, very pro MLS. But what they basically said is it depends on the rules of the MLS. If the MLS says that it's okay, then it's okay to share coming soon directly from the MLS. And so they released this whole big statement talking about coming soon. And all that is great. Here's the deal. This isn't really all that new. This is a pattern you see in big business, right? Where does money go? When money gets big enough, it stops, it tries to limit access. And that's what we're seeing where big money is trying to limit access. I don't want to limit access to our buyers, to our sellers. I think it's a really bad place to be. I also don't want to be left behind in here.
Can I read the previous screen?
No. You can find that on the NAR website too,
Yeah.
just so you know.
So what it does, it actually give your listing a little more marketing time before it actually is showable. So if you're working with investors that are flipping a house and that's renovating, it is good.
Well,
But you know how buyers are, right? They will try to go by the property and look at it themselves.
well, but I mean, but you know, like here's the deal though. Throughout this whole thing, I don't think Compass is a disruptor. I think they're a hoarder. That's my personal. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but that's just how I feel, right? I don't think Zillow's standing up for our industry. I think Zillow's protecting inventory for them.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own best interest. I think all the big players are trying to make sure nobody gets left out. They're all dancing for position. I get it. In the middle is consumers. Who is the one who's explaining this to consumers?
We are.
We are. And guess what we're seeing? It depends on who you're with as to what your message is. Right? And so I'm looking at this from a very consumer focused point of view. I think we have to be very conscientious about the message that we're putting out to our consumers, to the general public. I think we also need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect them. That being said, do I want to be left behind? Do I want you to be left behind? No, I don't. So what we're seeing is there is a brand new opportunity in coming soon. Coming soon is the coming soon game has changed. 6 months ago, if you'd asked me, would I be interested in working with and doing anything new about coming soon? I'd said no, because there's really no point. We've never really utilized coming soon that much. I mean, we do flip properties, but we still have not utilized coming soon. Well, all of a sudden, it's a different beast. Coming soon is now all of a sudden, coming soon is now consumer facing, or the opportunity to be consumer facing. So I'm expecting, and we're already seeing tons of changes happening in the coming soon market. For a lot of us, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're going to miss out on some marketing opportunities for your listings because of the way coming soon is really, really changing. So we have some new marketing benefits. All these portals I was telling you about, the Redfins, the Zillows, all that. Guess what? You're gonna start seeing on the front page of every one of these websites. Where are they gonna start listing? They're all gonna list coming soon. They're all gonna highlight coming soon. And if your property is not listed in coming soon, is there a chance that you would miss out? Yeah. Right. So like that's why I think it's very, very important.
So for us, it's an extra step.
Yep.
Nothing new. I mean, you gotta put in system
Yep.
anyways.
I expect, my personal feeling is we're gonna see the MLSs make coming soon public. Now, I am not the MLS. I can't say for sure that that's what's gonna happen, but if you look at it right now, who can't, I mean, at this point, most all your major brokerages has the ability to start marketing properties coming soon. You have it now as well. We'll start teaching and sharing how to do that. It's all coming out right now. I'm supposed to get training. We're supposed to be trained up on it in the next 2 weeks. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but my personal feeling is you're going to see where when you put a property in coming soon in the MLS, it's going to show up on these portals. So it's not there yet. That is absolutely what I'm expecting.
The only thing I recommend is that I know with coming soon, a lot of us don't have good pictures of the property. And that's one reason why we hesitate in coming soon. So you might want to find a photographer that can do some AI, basically imaging manipulation. To a certain extent, not where it's fake. Okay, I'm not saying deep fake, all right? I'm saying to where it doesn't look the way in the middle of renovation. What the room should look like.
Well, where I want to really go with you here is I want to do a lot better than that. Like, I think that we have some very unique opportunities out there. One thing that we used to do a long time ago, and now there's so much more opportunity to do it, and that is to turn a listing into a lot of business. Anybody heard of the listing snowball? Everyone stares at me like I lost my mind. That's okay.
Snowball.
So, listing snowball. Okay. This is where you utilize a listing. And the goal for the listing is at least one more listing and at least 2 buyers from every listing that you have. Why would this be a smart play for us as a company, for you as an agent? Guess what we have as a company right now? We have 117 listings at this moment. What happens if we turn that into, what happens if we can turn that into more listings and more buyers? Is that not a really smart thing to do?
No brainer.
Right. It really is a no-brainer. But what we see is a lot of us have the 4-step listing process. Do y'all know what the agent 4-step listing process is? Mm-hmm. Sign in the yard, lockbox in the door, in the MLS pray. Right? And then we're sitting back and we're letting Zillow and Redfin and all these other companies take our listing and market and promote those out there. Are we doing it? No, we're not. And so that's the entire premise behind the listing snowball. Now, one thing that I definitely, while going through here, one thing I realized is that we still don't have a lot of people that are utilizing some of the tools that you already have, right? Who has logged into their AgentWise accounts? Okay, both of you. All right, that's great.
You guys are missing out on this, let me tell you.
So this is AgentWise. And so you go to agentwisedesigns.com/member login. You're going to plug in your maximum one email address.
That'd be carlos.brown@maximumpartners.com.
Now, your starting password is password123 exclamation point. Please set a new one or else everyone can go into your account again, right?
That's what they call it.
So these are all Canva templates. There's a ton of Canva templates that you can use.
They are pretty, y'all.
And I want, what I'm saying is that so often we're trying to create things from scratch when we have a lot of tools that we can use. And so I want to walk you through the listing snowball and taking advantage of things like all these pre-made templates. Now on all these templates, the template's done. You just got to go in, upload your headshot and your contact information, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Now, I'm serious here. So let's walk through what the listing snowball opportunities are right now. Y'all ready? Because this is a big deal here. So first thing is 2 weeks out before you go live. Who's thinking about your listing 2 weeks beforehand? The market's different. We need to start looking 2 weeks out ahead of time. So your goal at 2 weeks before going live is off market buzz. Remember, what's our goal for the listing snowball? We have two goals. One listing, two more buyers. Right? So first thing is we want to go out and we want to start creating buzz, right? So we want off market teasers. We want to do like short little videos like, hey, I'm about to go to a listing appointment. Look at this amazing house. I'll let you know how it goes. Things like that. Oh, if you're interested in this house, call me. What are you doing?
You're creating
You're creating
excitement.
excitement, right? Like all that.
You're doing Black Friday.
Yeah. By the way, guess where these templates are?
Agent
Guess where I
wise.
pulled them from?
Agent wise.
All right, y'all following me here, right?
little bit.
Second, y'all.
So like you pull this up, change the photo, change the contact information, boom, post it in there. Like at this point, are you putting an address in here? No, because what is this?
Teaser.
This teaser. This like, right?
Shake your booty.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just shaking it a little bit, kind of thing. So maybe it's an email out into your database. Hey, I've got a new listing coming up really soon. I'm really excited to tell you guys about it. If you want an advanced peek, let me know. Things like that. Start conversations. So you start this 2 weeks out. Little videos, posts that you're doing, stealing the things out of AgentWise and utilizing them. Now, in addition to that, now's the time when you go out and you start scripting your listing description, right? We use ChatGPT a lot. Do make sure it doesn't violate fair housing, but go in there. You want to meet your photographer. Go out and get the pictures done at the property. While you get your pictures done, what else do you want to do?
Video.
All the videos that you need, when do you want to do those?
2 weeks out.
While you're with the photographer.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You have a photographer there. Well, photographers for a very small amount either use your phone or take video for you.
I sure will.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. See, but like what I'm saying is like when we start scheduling and planning these things out ahead of time, this is really smart business. So we want to go and take that photographer, have him do that, but also let's get those videos. Let's get those curbside videos. Go into the kitchens, talk about the kitchens, talk about the master bedrooms, the back decks, the whole 9 yards. You're just going to do a bunch of short form video and you're just going to stack it all up because we're going to use that later. Y'all with me?
You can post it for later posting.
Yeah.
So
The other
it
great
looks like
thing-
you're it looks like you're constantly busy, but you did it on one shot.
So you go ahead and get your just listed flyers together. You start getting all your graphics. You start sending things out in here. You get your just listed postcards made. By the way, they're already there. I can just change the pictures.
Yep.
Again, not a big deal. You start putting all your social media posts together. Your direct mail posts, the posts that you're going to put in next door, all that. You get an email that you're going to send out to your database. Yeah. You do those whisper videos. It's coming soon, y'all. It's almost on the market. I'm so excited. That kind of stuff. Or you stand in front of the house, like, who do you know would love this house? Have them reach out.
Use
Right.
your personality.
You're still 2 weeks out, y'all. We haven't even started to list the house. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, what's the goal?
2 new
One
buyers.
listing, 2 buyers.
One listing, 2 buyers here. And by the way, I think the potential for buyers is about 4 or 5. So now you're 1 week out. Now you're in coming soon. So this is all about building excitement around the coming soon. And we said coming soon is a different beast now, right? We have marketing opportunities that coming soon we've never had before. Let's utilize that. So we're going to list the property as coming soon. We may list it in Zillow and the portals, or we may just list it in the MLS, but we're gonna list it as coming soon. Now, we're gonna go in, we're gonna upload all of our pictures, we're gonna upload all of our docs, we're gonna get all those things done in the system, because you have to do that as part of the coming soon, because it's automatically gonna shift from coming soon to active. And but while it's in coming soon, are days on market adding up?
No.
No days on market included with coming soon. So then you can be doing short little videos. 4 days until this thing goes live. 3 days. Countdown is on. It's almost here. Teaser pictures where you just show the house, that kind of stuff. You email your database. Hey, it's coming soon. Want to see pictures? Click here. Because you want to send them to your database. So you do coming soon social media posts, coming soon emails, coming soon reels, coming soon carousels. You dump it into Nextdoor. Y'all with me here? But see, we have a brand new marketing opportunity with coming soon that we've never had. Now, when you market for coming soon, can we go say, coming soon, see this house, let's go see it tomorrow? Unless it's going live tomorrow. What you have, what the opportunity is, someone reaches out on coming soon, I can bring you there. I can show it to you on Tuesday or whatever day you're going live.
The day of like,
Yeah, I mean, I still like going live on Fridays or Saturdays, but whatever day you're going live, that's the day. But what you're using coming soon is to set appointments. You're setting appointments with buyers. Coming soon is all the new coming soon is set appointments for buyers. Is everybody with me? All right. Now, you're still 1 week out. You got to start your open house marketing. Because what are we trying to get?
one
listing, 2 buyers. All right, I know. You're like, broken record, Alan. Okay. So we're gonna drop flyers on the neighbors. Why are the neighbors gonna buy this house? No, but what might they be interested in doing? Selling their house. We see again and again where one house goes on the market in the next 3 or 4 months, 2 or 3 more come. So we want them to know that you're out there. I can't tell you how many listings that we've gotten from open houses and houses that we've sold. Talking to the neighbors is a really big thing. So you want to post your open house on Eventbrite, Facebook events, social media, all across everything. At least they'll know that you're out and active on here. Put it on your Google My Business. Put it on Nextdoor. All these are really great places. Now we're putting out Facebook posts, carousel pics, videos. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing before the open house, you need an agent resume. You don't need property flyers when someone comes to your open house. This is the biggest mistake I see us make, right? Because when they come to an open house, yes, they're going to look at the house. But what percentage of people buy a house at an open house? Really low. 80% of the people at an open house are unrepresented. They're there to interview you. They don't know it, but they're there to interview you, right? And so like, you want to be able to share things about why choose me, how I negotiate for you. You need to have personal flyers talking about this is why. You also want to have a list of other homes nearby. Because a lot of times we see them come into the house and like, what'd you like about the house? What didn't you like? Oh, well, we're looking for an open floor plan. No, I know a lot of open floor plans right around here. You want to see my list? And they said, yeah, absolutely, right? Are you working with somebody? So all that kind of stuff.
First question before, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, you're doing all these kind of things. You're also inviting your entire database to your open house, right? Because you want to create as much buzz and excitement as you can on here. So your listing goes live, just listed. Here it is. Now, always the Friday before you go live, have a big meeting with your seller. You want to make sure that the house is ready. We got them hyped up. We want to go through and make sure that the house is has to be right. It has to be clean, spec'd up, ready to rock and roll. But now it's when you're posting your just listed property flyer, all your social media posts, just listed, your reels, your carousels, your email blast to your database. It's on the market. It's finally here, y'all. Right? So now's when we're posting just listed. It really is live. And now, again, we're past the coming soon. We've set up all those appointments with any coming soon who's already gone through here, but now we're starting the actual, it's live marketing on here. So And is there enough information for us to be able to share that's already made for you to do that?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, you can also take video and plug video into a lot of these same templates. Or if
With
you do a
Canva.
video, it'll just show up as a video inside that template.
Which
Slick.
is really cool.
So now you do your open house, right? So we put out 15 signs for an open house. You know why we put 15? Because it works.
Yep.
Yeah. Psycho works too. It's also great to have multiple agents because when you have multiple agents in an open house, one person can take a buyer. We had an open house last weekend that got 2 qualified buyers out of it. So I know a lot of people that say open houses, they don't work. But every time when you talk to all these top producers and all these people doing a lot of business, guess what they all do? Yeah, and I'll have an agent who has nothing in their pipeline. I'll be like, "Are you thinking about open houses?" And they're like, "No one does open houses." Okay, no one that sells. Okay, I got you. Yes, sir.
You're saying 15 signs, so that means post 15 signs around the neighborhood?
Yep. Not just the
No,
neighborhood. You're pointing
directional.
directionals. Yes.
So if you have a neighborhood with multiple twists and turns, you need enough signs.
You want it at every
for twists and
intersection, but you want to make sure you go all the way out to the main road.
Right.
Sometimes we'll put 2 or 3 just right there so that they highlight it. Every big intersection leading there. The reason we do it is because it works really, really well.
I know it's a pain in the butt, and
Yep.
sometimes for traffic, you're like, this is inconvenient.
Yep.
But I promise you, the more sign that you have out there, more curiosity you have the audience.
When they come in, be engaging, be interested, talk to them. If you're gonna stand in a corner and not engage, don't do an open house. That doesn't make any sense to me at all right? They're not gonna come seek you
You're
out.
not there to police the house.
Right. So you want to get into engagement with them. Like I said, 80% of people at open houses are unrepresented. You know why? Well, think about it. What do we have to have before opening a door for a client?
Brokerage agreement.
We have to have buyer brokerage agreement. But before you get the buyer brokerage agreement, you have to have some level of trust. And if you don't have somebody you trust, how do you look at houses if you're a buyer?
Open house.
You go to open houses. Right? And so when you go in, you start engaging. If you work on building trust and engagement before you do the whole, do you have an agent thing? Look, they're looking for someone to partner with. They're looking for somebody. This is a great opportunity for you.
Well, during pandemic, the open house was not popular because inventory is just flying off, right? So now as the market shift, this is what we used to do a lot and it works.
Yep.
So we have to kind of move along with the market and how it shifts. If we don't, then the missed opportunity that you may have because you're not doing it, you're still thinking back in pandemic.
So you do the open house. Now, every week from here on out, you're going to email your database. You're going to post a reel. You're going to post a carousel. You're going to do a Facebook post. You're going to do a Google My Business post every week. What we find works out really good is like Monday, Wednesday, Friday work really good where you do a property highlight, a property feature, and then a lifestyle post, something on that. Anytime you have a price improvement, back on market, any of that kind of stuff, you want to be posting and promoting that out there. Every week, you continue to market this home every single week. And where are your templates at? There you go, they're already there. So steal them, use them on here.
So excited, y'all know what it is.
Now, what happens once you go under contract? Are you like, whoo, under contract, I'm heading to the beach? No, we aren't, right? Now we have a reel hey, the property's under contract. We have a carousel. We blast it out to everybody in our database. We want to do a direct mail or postcards, under contract postcards to other neighbors. Why would we send a under contract postcard to neighbors?
So they know you're doing the work.
I bring results. If you're thinking about selling, I'm your guy, right? So you can also reach out, circle prospect on the neighborhood. Hey, well, I've got more buyers than I have sellers. I need more properties here, right? Now, once you go sold, you just, we congratulate the Smiths and then we're done, right?
Nope.
No, we're gonna market sold, right? So a video, this is how the whole process, tell a story about what it was like selling this house. Just so Instagram, carousels, reels, just sold postcards. Again, you don't stop the marketing. Because what's our goal?
One listing.
One listing to buyer. Now, in addition, I love the magic buyer letters at the very end. You send this out to everybody else inside the neighborhood, which basically says, hey, I've got buyers with these needs. I just sold them your neighbor's house. I've already sold the neighbor's house, but we've got real buyers with these needs. Ever thought about selling?
Oh.
See, it's true, right? The results show up when you do. Think about if you do this for your listing, what if other sellers think about the job that you just did?
They think you're a rock star.
Damn, right?
You are truly in the market versus someone just come here, do the 4 steps.
Yeah. Now, is this a lot of freaking work?
Oh, yeah.
It is. But if you do things like batching your content, taking all your videos at one time, taking your photos, getting all this, utilizing the templates. The templates, I'm telling you, steal them. You don't need to edit the daylights out of them. Change the picture, change your logo, change your contact, send. Don't overthink it. You've got a lot of tools at your disposal that you can do. But when you are taking a listing like this, can you not see how the goal of 1 listing and 2 buyers is not really that tough of a sell? Now, if you do this and you go get another listing, what do you do now?
Same thing.
Rinse and
Run it
repeat.
back.
Thank you. Rinse and then what do you do again?
Run it back.
Look, this is the snowball, right? That's why I call it the listing snowball. When you're doing this is all about building some real momentum. If you have a listing that is not sitting, that is sitting there and it's not moving the way that you want it to, it might be time to pull back and start this all over again. It might be time to refresh that listing, steal anything that you have here. I got to put this in, like I really finished it yesterday. So I'm trying to, I do want to be able to give you some sort of a checklist that you can utilize. I don't have it yet, but I'll put that together in the next couple of days. We'll probably have it by first part of next week, and we'll put it in paperless pipeline for you.
And also, just so I guess now, all the sales meeting will be under reference section of paperless pipeline, and it will be stated like 2026-04 sales meeting. So if you guys want some refresher or steal any of the image or any of the message,
All the slides will be there if you want to steal
it
those.
will be in there. Okay. This is for y'all's benefit, and we have so many people asking about these things, so we will make sure it's uploaded, and so you have access to it for reference. Okay.
What do y'all think? Who feels overwhelmed? Anybody feel like, oh my goodness?
I'm excited.
All right, good. I want you to do that.
And listen, if you would do it the first time is always gonna be like, this is a lot of stuff. But once you get it came out, I promise you, it really is just a click away. And you can actually store your image, your logo, your telephone number, your info, and the master template. So whatever images or flyer you're trying to do, your stuff is already in there.
What do you think the chances of someone firing you after doing all this is?
Not likely.
Very slim.
All right. This is a really big deal, and this thing works. So I pray you will steal the crap out of it. So I mean that very positive. All right, yes, sir.
It's in a paperless pipeline.
It'll be on paperless pipeline.
And reference section,
In what section?
reference.
Yep.
Reference.
There's a tab on top that says reference. That's where all the stuff.
We can show you.
Oh, is that on patient ones?
No, but I can show you here
We'll
when we get
go
done.
over
Yeah,
it.
it's probably showing.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, couple of quick housekeeping things here. I'm trying to get us going here. First thing is, FinCEN is not on.
It's on
Right.
hold.
Yeah,
After we announced the last
we
sales
spent the
meeting.
last 2 sales meetings talking about FinCEN. Watch out for the FinCEN. Look out for the real estate report. Then they got sued. Now it's sitting on limbo. You will see some closing attorneys are
That's
still
what required.
still collecting the data, expecting that it gets taken out of hold. But we like to sue everybody. And so as it stands right now, it is officially on hold. All this is for your investors.
Mhm.
If they buy a house that does not have traditional financing, or it's held by an entity, meaning
LLCs.
LLCs, C corps, that kind of stuff, and they don't use traditional financing, then they have to fill out this
Report.
125 data point report thing that they
And
have
what
to
it
fill
is,
with a
is
closing
just to
attorney.
make sure there's not money laundering on the back end, where bad money, dirty money turned to clean money.
So you're saying I can now use that London?
Well.
Yeah, laundering's fine now. Yes, that's it exactly. So.
Yeah, you can put your quarter in there if you like. You still have the quarter.
All right. Also, don't forget our masterminds are every Monday morning at 9:30. We have a mastermind every single week talking about the different things. Everyone has a different topic. This week coming up, like last week, I taught on how do you do a team, should you do a team, the attributes of teams, that kind of stuff. If you need to catch replays, you can catch replays at Real Estate Backstory. This week coming up, Ming's going to be going over how to understand buy downs. I can't stress how important this is, because agents that build in buy downs as part of your strategy, you've got a whole new thing to be able to talk about out there. When especially if you have a buyer and you work with your lender and understand what buy downs are.
Do you want me to go over it really quick? This is a snippet.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I have a buyer I'm working with Lenny right now. Okay. And right now, because interest rate is what, Dan? That's right. 3 weeks ago was the best interest rate. 3 weeks ago. And ever since then, it's been doing this slow uphill turn. It's actually turning a little bit this way right now,
Yeah, it's coming back down.
but it's not where it was. Okay. So what happened with that particular borrower is that he wants a down payment assistance. He has the money, but he doesn't want to spend his money, which I understand. But anytime you want to buy down, just remember your client has to have what we call minimum 660 credit score. That is a minimum. Okay. Anything less than that, they will not get a DPA. The Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the government loans will do automatic reject. Okay. Because what it is, they want to make sure the borrower has enough skin in the game. Okay. If everybody else is giving you the money, what's made me think that you won't decide, okay, well, my 2 months free ride's there, and I got another 3 months before they foreclose on me. That's about 5 months, maybe 6, and I'm paying a dime. So that happens sometimes. So, and this is why they don't do certain things. So, make the long story short, because Letty was able to negotiate a much higher, it's an FHA product, much higher closing costs right now. Who's motivated? So, sellers motivated. So, when they'll give much bigger closing costs, they utilize. So, from a lending perspective, the seller can contribute as much money toward a buy down. So instead of being qualified, right, the rates last time I looked for him was around about 7.125. But if I'm able to buy down the rates to about 6.75, then he qualifies for the DPA. One of the restraints I had on that person was that his debt to income ratio was too high. At 7.125, he was not qualified for DPA. But at 6.75, he is, because he hasn't exceeded that debt ratio. So this is some of the stuff. This is why you guys need to partner up with lender, and understand why we look at some of the stuff in the back end. And when we tell you that, hey, listen, we can't. This is about either more money, bring the credit up, or we got a little time to work on this person. Okay, so. If the equation to any loan is how much asset you have, because you always have to come up FHA 3.5% down, right? If you don't have that, we can't even move forward. And you gotta have the credit to qualify. And the last part of it is your debt to income ratio. I have one person that makes over 6 figures, but unfortunately, they like to spend. And so you got ratio in the front end, which is your housing ratio, and the back end would be your housing and your credit card, or your current revolving or installment loans.
Yes, my eyes are glazing.
I know. But anyway, you can't exceed that ratio. That's what I'm saying, from a lender perspective. And so even you may be a 6-figure income earner, you may not qualify because of that. So that's something that we work with them, say, hey, you got the money, let's pay off these debts. Let's go ahead, make your monthly payment less so you qualify for that ratio.
Really, it
Right,
comes down
yes.
for us, a lot of times
It's
it's
like
gonna
that.
be, well, it's true, because for me, I don't, not to be mean, but I don't need to know what their debt to income ratio is. I need to know that you qualify. But if a lender says, look, if we can get $8,000 in closing costs,
Mhm.
I can lower their payment by $200 a month. That's numbers I can get behind. When I structure that loan, even if I gotta go and say, maybe we don't ask for an $8,000 price reduction. Maybe we go at full price, but we ask for $8,000 in closing
In
costs.
addition, closing
That
costs.
I know, because I talked to my lender, that I can, that rate can get bought down, and now my clients save $200 a month. Now they qualify for DPA. Having those kind of conversations about buy downs is really, really important. That's a big deal right now with all the volatility going on. Being able to have someone who can partner with a lender plus the buyer and you, that's a really powerful place to be. So she's going to be teaching on that on Monday if you want to get in on that, and I'll let you go through all that at that point. But then we've got Bowl Trail coming up. The SureLink lady, who's the Agent Wise, they're going to be in here teaching on the 27th. We have DS Murphy who's going to be coming on talking about doing appraisals. We have FMLS who's going to be teaching on OptiCell and Remind. And then we have more Bold Trail, and then we have Shantha coming back. So we have a lot of stuff coming up. Each Monday, it's normally between 30 minutes to an hour, and you don't have to turn your camera on. I don't care what your hair looks like. So you ain't got to put your hair on. I don't care. Just get on and get your week started. So I did want to say congratulations to our top producers.
Yay!
So,
Woo!
there
There's
we
that.
go. Yeah.